Something extraordinary is unfolding in Jerusalem right now, and most people around the world have no idea. For months, locals, pilgrims, and even everyday visitors have been witnessing events that defy explanation. Strange lights hover over the dome of the rock. Faint tremors shake the streets near the western wall, and in the quiet of the night, people report hearing a sound eerily similar to a shofar, echoing from the sky even when no one is playing anything. It's almost as if the city itself is trying to communicate with humanity, sending messages that most are too busy to notice or too skeptical to believe. You might be asking yourself, why isn't the media covering this? Why do these signs, witnessed by ordinary people and documented on countless smartphones, seem to disappear from news headlines? The answer might be simpler and scarier than we think. Jerusalem has always been the spiritual heartbeat of the world. Everything that happens there eventually ripples across the planet, whether through political shifts, cultural movements, or even spiritual awakening. And now, it seems, the city is signaling that something monumental is about to occur, something that could change the course of history forever. People walking through the ancient streets report a tension in the air, almost tangible, a feeling that time itself is bending. Tourists who came just to visit the holy sites describe moments where the atmosphere feels charged, heavy, as if every stone, every alleyway, is vibrating with unseen energy. There are countless reports of strange phenomena, lights appearing in spiral formations above the Temple Mount, whispers of chants that no one can identify, and even faint tremors that seem perfectly timed with the movement of celestial bodies. And it isn't just coincidence. These signs are appearing at times that align with historical events, astronomical alignments, and, disturbingly, ancient prophecy. Imagine standing in the plaza near the Western Wall, surrounded by thousands of years of history, and witnessing a sudden glow descending from the sky. Imagine looking up at the dome of the rock as a light, brighter than anything natural, illuminates its golden dome for just a few seconds before vanishing. Witnesses describe feelings of awe, fear, and reverence, an undeniable sense that something divine or something beyond human understanding is at play. And yet, the majority of the world continues its daily routine, unaware, distracted by politics, crises, and entertainment, missing the signs that could signal a turning point, not just for Jerusalem, but for the entire planet. Some claim these events are merely atmospheric phenomena, drones, or coincidences. Others are certain these are spiritual messages, a kind of warning that humanity must heed. And when you look closely, patterns begin to emerge. Reports from different parts of the city, seemingly unrelated, often match. People across Jerusalem describe the same strange lights, the same distant trumpet-like sounds, the same energy that seems to thicken the air during certain nights. Scholars, theologians, and even independent astronomers have noticed rare celestial alignments that coincide perfectly with these events, suggesting that the heavens themselves may be sending a message. It isn't only the spiritual side that is reacting. Politicians and world leaders seem to be quietly observing, preparing, even as ordinary citizens are just beginning to grasp the magnitude of what is happening. Rumors of secret meetings, undisclosed discoveries beneath the Temple Mount, and mysterious archaeological findings only add to the sense that something significant is approaching. Jerusalem has always been a city of secrets, a crossroads of faith, history, and prophecy. What we are seeing now may be the most intense convergence of all three in modern times. And yet, even with these signs, the world largely ignores Jerusalem's urgent messaging. But if you pay attention, if you truly observe, you'll notice that these phenomena are not random. Every flash of light, every tremor, every mysterious sound seems connected, forming a tapestry that stretches across centuries of prophecy. Those who understand these ancient texts warn that we are living in a critical period that could precede events so profound, so transformative, that they will redefine everything we know about history, faith, and humanity. Some witnesses describe seeing the city itself breathe, as if Jerusalem has a consciousness, aware of the times, and preparing for something. Pilgrims report feeling a thin veil between the spiritual and physical worlds, a sensation that reality itself is shifting. Even skeptics admit that there's an intensity in the air near the dome of the rock and the western wall that cannot be explained by weather or human activity. The spiritual energy is palpable, the tension undeniable, and every unusual event seems to trigger another, a tremor, followed by a glow, a mysterious sound followed by a sudden change in the sky's color, a pattern so consistent that it cannot be dismissed. What makes this even more fascinating and frightening is that these signs are starting to resonate beyond Jerusalem. Reports of unusual weather patterns, minor tremors, and unexplained celestial phenomena are emerging in other parts of the world, synchronized almost perfectly with the events in the Holy City. Could Jerusalem be a focal point, a center of spiritual and prophetic activity that radiates influence across the globe? Many scholars and religious leaders believe so, and some even suggest that what we are witnessing could be the precursor to events described in the most ancient prophecy, a time when the city's significance will reach unprecedented levels, attracting the eyes of the entire world. There are even reports of collective visions. Pilgrims from different countries who have never met describe seeing the same lights, the same angelic figures, the same divine symbols hovering over the city. Some claim to have seen the faint outlines of figures in robes, standing silently atop the Temple Mount, as if guarding an ancient secret. Others report hearing coordinated trumpet-like sounds echoing across the hills and valleys, almost like a signal meant to awaken those who are willing to see. It is the kind of synchronicity that cannot be easily explained by coincidence or human activity alone. And yet, while the phenomena multiply, the world continues to look away. Governments, media outlets, and even major religious organizations remain cautious, often silent. Perhaps it is fear of admitting that there are forces at work far beyond politics or science, forces that could redefine everything humanity thinks it understands about time, faith, and the divine. Or perhaps it is intentional, an effort to control how people interpret what is unfolding. But for those who are awake, who notice, the signs are clear. Jerusalem is speaking, and the world is being called to pay attention. For those watching this video, I want you to think carefully. When you hear about mysterious lights, strange sounds, and unusual events in Jerusalem, don't dismiss them. Look closer, try to understand. Consider what it would mean if these events are connected to prophecies that have been written for thousands of years. Imagine being among the first to recognize a pattern that could signal a turning point in human history. The city is alive, its message urgent, and its warnings are subtle yet undeniable. Even now, as you watch, more signs are appearing. People are capturing videos of glowing figures, sounds that defy explanation, and lights that twist and spiral above the dome of the rock. Some describe it as divine, others as a warning, and still others as a prelude to something far more complex, something that could alter politics, faith, and even the very course of human events. It is a mystery that is both spiritual and existential, a phenomenon that challenges everything we think we know about the world. The question that remains is not just what is happening in Jerusalem, but why it is happening now. Why this city, at this precise moment in history, is becoming the epicenter of so many unexplained events. Is it a call for humanity to awaken, a sign that ancient prophecies are moving toward fulfillment? Or is it a warning of a greater, hidden danger approaching? Perhaps it is all of these things, and perhaps it is also a reminder that we are part of a larger story, one that stretches across time, geography, and the very fabric of reality itself. Jerusalem is more than a city, it is a mirror of humanity's spiritual journey. What happens there reflects not only the world's history, but also the state of our collective consciousness. Every unusual sound, every mysterious light, every tremor in its ancient streets is a reminder that there are forces in play far greater than any single person or nation. The city is alive, and its pulse is accelerating. Those who walk its streets, whether pilgrims, locals, or curious travelers, cannot help but feel it. So, I want you to ask yourself, are these events in Jerusalem merely coincidences, or are they signs that the world needs to wake up? Could these phenomena be a divine message, a spiritual alert, or even a call to prepare for events that are about to unfold on a global scale? Every person who has witnessed these signs describes the same mixture of awe, fear, and reverence. And now, it's your turn to observe, to reflect, and to question. If you've been paying attention, you might have noticed that these signs aren't just random. They form a pattern, a sequence that could indicate a timeline of events that the world is not yet ready to understand. And while the mainstream continues to ignore or explain away these phenomena, the truth remains. Something unprecedented is happening in Jerusalem, and it is slowly revealing itself to those willing to see. I want to hear from you. Do you believe that these lights, sounds, and tremors are a divine warning? Do you feel that Jerusalem is trying to communicate something urgent to humanity? Write the word Jerusalem in the comments if you sense, as I do, that the world is on the brink of witnessing something extraordinary. Share your thoughts, your fears, your insights. Let's discuss what could be happening in the city that has always been the spiritual epicenter of the world. Because the truth is, whether we are ready or not, the signs are becoming impossible to ignore. Jerusalem is alive, and it is calling out. What happens next may change everything, and it is happening right now, before our very eyes. Something even more astonishing has been quietly unfolding in Jerusalem. A series of events so subtle yet profound that most of the world remains completely unaware. While countless people go about their daily lives, Jerusalem pulses with an energy that seems to defy every rational explanation. There are whispers among locals that the city is alive in ways that are impossible to measure. An energy that interacts with people's thoughts, emotions, and even their dreams. Pilgrims who spend hours in prayer near the Western Wall have reported moments of intense clarity, visions that feel both ancient and immediate, as if time itself were bending to reveal truths hidden for centuries. Beyond the lights and sounds that have already been documented, there are reports of phenomena that are even more elusive. People walking near the ancient alleyways speak of shadows moving independently of their sources, figures that appear at the edge of vision and vanish when looked at directly. Some describe hearing soft chanting carried by the wind, yet no one is there. Others report a sudden, almost electrical charge in the air, a vibration that seems to resonate not only in the ground but inside their own bodies. Scientists are puzzled. No known atmospheric or geological explanation seems to fit. The city's ancient stones seem to respond to something unseen, and those who are sensitive to such things feel that the spiritual fabric of Jerusalem is being awakened. Many travelers, some visiting for the first time, speak of an uncanny sense of déjà vu. Streets, plazas, and markets evoke memories they have never lived, a strange familiarity that feels like a glimpse into another time. Scholars of prophecy note that these experiences mirror description found in ancient texts, passages where the city itself is described as a living witness to events that shape the course of humanity. And these experiences are not isolated. Reports are coming in from multiple sources, all describing subtle shifts in the atmosphere at precise times, alignments of celestial bodies, rare cloud formations, and unusual patterns of light that seem almost deliberate. Almost like signals waiting to be interpreted by those who are paying attention. Even the animals in Jerusalem seem affected. Birds gather and disperse in patterns that local ornithologists cannot explain, while pets and stray animals behave unusually in the old city, often freezing in place or staring toward areas where no one is visible. There are accounts of small tremors felt not only near historical sites but across the surrounding neighborhoods, all occurring simultaneously with unexplained bursts of light in the sky. These phenomena are subtle, almost imperceptible, yet they create a sense of urgency among those who notice them. Many people feel an inner prompting, a quiet insistence that something critical is happening, even if the world remains indifferent. The interactions between the spiritual and the physical are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Visitors near the Temple Mount describe a feeling of weightlessness, a sense that time slows, as if the city itself is holding its breath. The air carries a faint scent of incense, even in open areas where no incense has been burned. Some claim that distant voices, too soft to discern clearly, echo words that seem meaningful yet impossible to fully understand. It is as if the city is trying to speak in a language beyond words, a language that resonates with intuition, memory, and faith simultaneously. And yet, the silence from authorities and media continues to be deafening. It is almost as if the world is being deliberately shielded from recognizing the full scope of what is happening. But those who are present, those who walk the streets, pray at the holy sites, and pay attention to the signs, begin to sense that Jerusalem is at the center of something extraordinary. Something that could influence not only the spiritual, but also the political and cultural currents of the modern world. A new layer of mystery has emerged in recent weeks. Witnesses speak of a luminous mist that appears around the city just before sunrise, hovering above the rooftops and domes, dissipating as the first light of day spreads. Some have managed to capture faint ethereal figures within this mist, shapes that seem to move with purpose, almost like guardians or messengers. This phenomenon has sparked intense curiosity and debate among scholars, scientists, and spiritual leaders alike. No one can agree on its origin, yet its presence is undeniable, and those who witness it describe feelings of awe, fear, and an inexplicable urgency to understand its meaning. Some reports even suggest that Jerusalem is affecting the dreams of people far beyond its borders. Individuals from Europe, the Americas, and Asia report strikingly similar visions: glowing cityscapes, spiral lights over sacred sites, distant voices calling out in a language that seems partially familiar, partially alien. These shared experiences are so consistent that many are beginning to question whether the city's influence is extending globally, subtly guiding the thoughts and consciousness of those who are open to perceiving it. Could this be a form of spiritual communication that transcends distance and time? And if so, what is the message it carries, and for whom is it intended? The intensity of these events appears to be increasing. There are nights when the city seems almost suspended between reality and the invisible, a threshold where ordinary perception fails, and something beyond human understanding asserts itself. Pilgrims report feeling as if the city is watching them, or perhaps testing them, revealing glimpses of truths that are otherwise hidden. Every movement of light, every shift in sound, every tremor in the stones seems to carry a pattern, a sequence waiting for those who are patient, attentive, and willing to see beyond the surface. Even the natural world seems to respond to these shifts. Sudden gusts of wind sweep through narrow alleys without warning. Clouds form intricate, fleeting patterns in the sky. The sun and moon sometimes align in ways that appear almost deliberate, casting shadows over ancient structures that create symbolic shapes on the ground. Those who are spiritually attuned feel that each event is a message layered with meaning, a code that may unlock insights into both the city's destiny and the destiny of those who witness it. And yet, despite all of this, few outside Jerusalem are aware. The majority of people remain engrossed in ordinary life, oblivious to the signals quietly converging in one of the world's oldest cities. But for those who notice, the sense of exclusivity grows. Being aware of these events feels like a rare privilege, an invitation to witness a chapter of history in real time, perhaps even to participate in it in some unseen way. The urgency is subtle but insistent. There is knowledge to be gained, insights to be understood, and awareness that may only be accessible to those who choose to see and feel deeply. It is impossible to ignore the spiritual weight of Jerusalem. Every stone, every wall, every sacred site seems alive with a resonance that has persisted for millennia. Pilgrims who have visited repeatedly describe a sensation of being drawn into a narrative far larger than themselves, a story that interweaves history, prophecy, and human consciousness. The city is not merely a backdrop to these events, it is an active participant, a living testament to a force beyond comprehension, quietly preparing for something momentous that the world has not yet fully grasped. If you are watching this, and you feel the weight of what is being described, it means you are part of a select group, those who are paying attention, those who refuse to ignore the signs, those who sense that something extraordinary is unfolding in plain sight. And it is precisely for you that this moment matters. Those who are awake, those who are curious, those who feel the subtle tremors of truth beneath the surface, are being invited to witness, to reflect, and to engage with what is happening. So here is what I want you to do. If this video has captured your attention, if you feel a connection to these events, subscribe to the channel now. Be part of the community that is noticing the signs, that is awake to the mysteries quietly unfolding. For those who have watched until the very end, leave a comment sharing the word "I see it," so we know who is truly paying attention, who is awake to the unfolding reality. Make sure to leave your like, because every gesture strengthens the reach of this message and ensures that more people can awaken alongside us. And don't miss the next video that is appearing on your screen. It contains insights and revelations that almost no one is ready to witness. A continuation of the story you are now part of. The opportunity to see these events unfold, to connect with the truth, is rare and fleeting, and only those who remain engaged will witness the full picture. The city is moving, the signs are multiplying, and time is accelerating. Jerusalem is calling, and only those who are attentive, curious, and willing to see will understand what is truly happening.